Are we in yet?
You have to give me time.
We have to hurry up.
This is gonna take as long as it takes.
I don't know when the feds are gonna get here.
Okay, granted, but I've not done this before, so, just chill.
But you're the tech guy.
Okay, yes, but I've not done this. I've not done hacky, techie thing before. It's complicated. There's code.
Look, as I was saying on our show, I desperately want to cover the movie Hackers.
Ugh.
And I know, I won't shut up about it.
I know.
But here's the thing, we can't cover it on our show.
We can't, I know.
So this is the only way. If we hack Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies, then we can cover, we can justify it there.
This is me supporting you. You know that, right? This is me saying I care, and I'm trying really, really hard to give you what you want.
I know, and I'm appreciating it because it's for my birthday month coming up. I know.
It is true. I owe you that.
All right. Are we in yet?
No, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Wait, let me try something. Charlie and Nate can go themselves. We're in!
We must be.
We're in!
Yeah,
all right,
I
quick,
think we got it. I think we
gotta
got it.
do it. Okay,
God.
quick.
God.
Let's get started with the review.
Okay. Hackers.
Welcome,
Hackers.
All right, welcome everybody to our new show. My name is Steven.
No. Hacker names. Names.
Oh, God. Let's use the hacker name generator we have. I've got Smog Comet.
Perfect. Okay, great.
That sounds like I have a problem with farting.
Well, I mean, play the strings. Looks like I got Proxy Paradox. Cool. Okay, great.
Okay, Proxy Paradox sounds like you sound cool, and then we find you, and you're a
I'm
loser.
not at all, which is accurate. So we're
never
good.
slept with a woman in your life.
All right, so Smog.
Welcome, everybody, to our new show. My name is Smog Comet.
I am Proxy Paradox.
And this is Give Me Back My
Hackers.
Rollerblading Hackers science fiction 90s movie with Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller.
Episode show.
And here we go. Proxy Paradox. Should we allow the others into their old show?
I mean, eventually we're gonna have to if we want to rub it in their face that we did this. So sure. Let me get a quick button click here, and should be good.
What the heck is going on?
How did this even happen?
That sounds like Steven.
No, that's Smog.
Oh,
Comet.
Smog butt. Oh,
Smog Comet and Proxy Paradox?
That's right, sucker. We are the hackers.
Whoa.
Welcome to our new show, Give Me Back My Rollerblading Science Fiction Hacker Movie Show.
I didn't even know that was a genre.
Now,
How did you get in?
Now you're stuck with our choices and our way of doing it.
Did Ego leave the back door open again?
Leo always comes in the back door. I don't know.
But
Well, they've already got the humor down, so we're good.
yeah, we decided to take over your show because on Spoils of Horror, we can't cover a movie like the magnificent, perfect, classic Hackers.
Which Steve, Smog will never stop going on about, so I have to do this in order to have some sanity.
We've made references about it on our show. I've cracked jokes about it, only to find out that Leo didn't understand any of them because he had never seen the movie.
And then he cried a little inside. It was horrible. So we're just getting this over with.
So now we're taking over your show so we can cover this movie.
Well, I think that's okay because unbeknownst to most people, I absolutely love the movie Hackers.
Yes!
It is one of my favorites.
Yes!
So, without any further ado, welcome to Give Me Back My Haction Movies. I am one of your hosts, Charlie. With me, as always, is Nate. What's going to be your hacker name? With me, as always, is
I got two. All right, so because I've been on Lexapro for a couple weeks now and it's had some side effects, there's also Flaccid Pro, and then I've also got Code Red. So Whichever one you want to refer
I
to
like
me
I
as.
like Code Red. I guess I should have led that off with mine. I am CyberAxe, the ultimate hacker. What do you hack with?
Ah.
You hack with an axe, boys.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And in that docile tone that you heard there is our other hacker extraordinaire. Please introduce yourself as your hacker moniker.
I thought I had a pretty clever one, but stupid Proxy Paradox jumped in. I was going to go with Brass Paradox
Because of your giant brass balls,
because of
right?
my brass balls, right? Oh, maybe we're kissing cousins. We're shiny domed people. Yes, I love it.
No, it's the hero and the anti-hero battling. It's the
Oh,
yeah.
That's
the
a
yin and the
paradox.
yang, yes.
It's a total paradox. I love it.
Aha.
I like it. I'm sticking with it. I am Brax Paradox. Good evening.
Well, and the other two have
Or
already introduced
morning.
themselves and taken over our show, but that's all right. We are totally down for this. It's the only way we can justify hackers on Give Me Back My Action movies, because while I would love to consider it an action movie, it's not.
Wait. There's excessive rollerblading in this show.
Oh, very
pretty action.
excessive.
Which is extreme.
It's extreme rollerblading. There's lots of guns in the movie. Lots of
Yes.
guns.
Yes.
I don't think any of them get
I
shot, but
don't-
there's
yeah.
lots of guns.
They're all hanging
And-
on the wall in the back.
Flying through cyberspace, which is pretty badass.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make my defense that there's some action in this.
There's even some swords in this movie that I finally noticed because I watched this on the Shout Factory Blu-ray.
Oh,
That they're playing with swords in the background when they're trying to decipher the garbage file.
oh,
And
that's
I was like,
funny.
oh, there's at least swords. So I was like, I'm down.
We have heroes, villains. It's a classic tale.
We have an excellent villain too. So before we all jump
Do
into
we?
this, we do, sir.
We do.
We
Yes!
do. I am
We
totally
have
on Steven's side.
JP from Grandma's Boy. I am a robot. I have a robot vagina. That is who the bad guy is in this movie.
Yep.
He's fantastic.
It's Fisher Stevens, and he's the
He's
bad
great.
guy.
He's
I love
great.
this guy. All right, well, before we jump right into this head first, let's get this trailer down and kind of set the stage for everything.
Hidden beneath the world we know is the world they inhabit.
Dave?
Yeah, Mom?
What are you doing?
I'm taking over a TV network.
Well, finish up, honey, and get to sleep.
They're hackers.
Hackers penetrate and ravage private and publicly owned computer systems.
Hack the planet.
It's not just something they do.
Sure this sweet machine's not going to waste.
Are you challenging me?
It's who they are.
I win, you wear a dress on our date.
And if I win, so do you.
They can crack any code. And get inside any system.
Hello?
Mr. Gill, according to our records, you're dead.
I'm what?
But this time,
Come here, look at this.
It's some kind of virus.
unless $5 million is transferred to the following account, I will capsize 5 oil tankers. They just hacked the wrong guy.
Game's over.
Whoever wrote this needs somebody to take the fall.
He's about to commit the perfect computer crime.
You've created a virus that's going to cause a worldwide disaster?
And they're about to take the blame.
A hacker planted the virus. But it's the perfect cover.
We're being framed.
Can we be allies? I don't play well with others.
Wow, we are fried.
Okay, let's nail it.
No,
You're not good enough to beat me. Yeah, maybe I'm not. But we are.
they're the only ones who can prevent a catastrophe.
I know how to stop this guy. They'll trace you like that. Are you nuts? Come at me!
Unlike any the world has ever seen.
Never send a boy to do a woman's job.
Hackers of the world unite.
Cops on the building. I need more time.
This is the end, my friend.
United Artists welcomes you to the new world. Hackers.
I don't want want to immediately start a fight or anything, but that doesn't sound like an action movie as much as a buddy cop film with like Jerry Lewis and Steve Buscemi.
It's like the longest trailer I think we've ever played.
And that whole trailer, like, it basically tells you literally everything up until the last 10 minutes of the movie.
That's
you don't
why
need to watch
I
the movie. Just watch
that's
the
why I
trailer.
played it, because it's essentially a synopsis. So I was like, you know what? This way we don't have to explain to you what the movie's about. We can just talk about why this movie's badass. So
If you just add 2 sentences to say they hacked the Gibson and they make out in a pool, you've got the whole movie.
Pretty much.
movie done. But
That's the credits. We're done.
No, it was, but yeah, I tried to find a shorter one. There's not one, but after I listened to it, I went, yeah, this is the movie pretty succinctly put out there. So I was like, screw it, we're gonna play it. We're being hacked anyway, so we'll do things a little bit differently as it goes. So I think there's no better way to do this than our overtakers, Steven, to explain
Smog Comet, please.
Hold on, I've got it all.
You gotta write that one down.
Yeah, you gotta write it down, and I know you're probably gonna need pictures next to every name.
Yeah,
I have out, and I'll say it as they do in the movie. Ooh, hard copy.
So for your audience that can't see it, it is the most untechnological piece of Post-it paper.
It's all Post-it
that has all of our names on it.
It's totally all Post-it and all of our monikers.
Yeah.
So, Smog Comet.
Yes,
please.
yes, that's me.
Why hackers?
So, it's so funny because on your show, one of my favorite segments you do is often the first, 5 or 10 minutes when you talk about what the movie meant to you. And which is not something we do a version of that on our show, but it's a little different. And so when you've talked about like, your wonderful Masters of the Universe episode and several other, episodes that you've had, you spend a good chunk of time with what the movie meant to you. And I saw Hackers when it was meant to be seen. I saw it when I was in high school.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And I'm the exact same age as all these characters. So a girl that I was into loved the movie, and she told me to see it, and I just fell in love with this movie. It's a lot of fun. I have a feeling you're going to probably bring up Class of 1999, which was an episode that we were on before.
Oh, yeah.
What that movie meant to you is what this movie meant to me. I loved the characters. There's a great, wonderful, like, self-importance in the movie that these characters just think they're so important and the whole world is centralized around them and they've got to fight these villains. And, it's that time in your life where you're transitioning away from like family to friendship, and like your friends are more important to you. And so there's a lot of camaraderie there. And I just thought these characters were super cool. I loved them all. I wanted to be all of them when I was in high school. And this started my huge crush. I don't have it anymore because she's changed a little bit, but like my huge crush on Angelina Jolie. I was in love with this woman. I was in love with Acid Burn. So that was part of this as well.
Nice.
Leo had never seen it.
I saw it, 2 weeks ago for the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, Proxy Paradox, what was your nostalgic, love for it?
It's a unique perspective because I've had this with other people before where I love a thing like Steven, where I grew up with it. But then somebody else is like, oh, I only just saw it today. And now I'm on the other side of that.
Right.
And I don't have the same nostalgia. I don't have the same, grip on it because of that. But that doesn't mean it was a bad film. It just means I have that different look to it.
Leo did buy a skateboard, though.
Nice. I did. That's why I'm sitting in a wheelchair now, because
I'll piggyback on what Leo said, because this is a first-time watch for me as well. This came out when I was in college, and I was more interested in chasing girls than watching movies at the time.
However, look at me. I'm into girls, and I'm not scared to talk to them.
I didn't say I was catching them. I said I was chasing them.
Yeah,
There's a big
but
difference
you're
between
still like,
fishing and catching. And
I leave my dorm room.
He's got the restraining orders to prove it. He's okay.
Right. But this is a first time watch. I was in the computer business back then. I was selling computers at a store called CompUSA. I think that was a national chain for a while. But I was on the floor selling computers to folks, and so as far as the connection I have with this movie, I was deep into tech back then, so a lot of what they were saying, some of it made sense, some of it didn't make sense, some of it was bullshit, some of it was spot on. So it was a very interesting look back into the '90s, where that technology was at the time.
Right. All right. Cool. Nate, what about you, Bubba? You're the
Uh,
baby in the group here.
I
so.
am. So, me in high school was early 2000s, but that's when I saw this movie because I found out Matthew Lillard was in it. And I was like, oh, I have to check this out then. And absolutely loved it. I've not seen it in years. Like, it's been a long ass time. But it's always like, oh, yeah, Hackers. That's that really cool movie about like the internet and stuff. I do love that Steven, or I'm so sorry, Smog Comet, you know, got into this movie because of a girl, because we're all stupid enough to go, oh, a girl likes that. I want to figure out what that's into. That's why I like Blink 182. There was a really cute girl that liked Blink 182. I went, maybe I should check these guys out. And like, I think that kind of like the whole love for Angelina Jolie. She is adorable in this movie. Nowadays, not so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this movie is a lot of fun. I'm glad to revisit it because I remember the same thing of like, these guys are so cool. Like, how ballsy of them to wear half a sleeve, you know, and for Matthew Lillard to have braids. Like, this is so cool. Like, is this what city kids are like? Because I grew up in the country, so corn, that's what we had. Like, there was no hacking at all.
I found out that Matthew Lillard began with this movie, this sort of prototype character that he's known for.
Mhm.
It's nice to know that his career has never changed since.
I was going to mention that later on. It's like, so Matthew Lillard is Matthew Lillard in every movie he's ever been in. Okay.
And he is the most Matthew Lillard in this movie than ever. And I love him. I've never not liked him in a film. You know what I mean? I always thought he was great.
It's not a knock against him. It's an observation.
Well, see, you guys all watch this like streaming. Like right now, it's free on Tubi. I, want everyone to please go watch it on Tubi.
I watched it on YouTube, which YouTube does a ton of ads. And it's so great watching a movie like this talking about corporations and taking down, and then it'd be in the middle of a sentence, then iPad commercial would come on for like 5 seconds. It was super jarring. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Well, I love this movie so much. I went ahead and ordered this ahead of time because I never realized Shout Factory did a release of this. So I was like, I have to own that. I love this movie. And they have Matthew Lillard on there in an interview, and he looked back and he's like, wow, man, my acting style back in that day, he to himself, he's going, what was I thinking? To myself, I'm going, when have you changed? It's totally him. In every role.
For him to pull the mask off the bad guy at the end, like Scooby Doo.
Exactly. He's always going to be Shaggy.
Yeah, the character in this that he plays, Serial
serial
might as
killer.
well be like a distant cousin to his character in SLC Punk.
Or in
right.
or any of them.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I think maybe I saw the same interview, but he was talking about his performance in that movie, and he said, yeah, it's just basically based on energy. He said, but weirdly it works. And I actually agree with him. It weirdly works. It's very consistent.
He went for the Johnny Lee Miller role. He went for the lead role, and actually he was one of the top, I forget what you call it, but he was in the spot for a long time till they found Miller, and they bumped him down to Serial. But after you've seen this movie so many times, it's like there's no way I could see this any other way. Like I couldn't see him. He is a leading man in other movies, but he is serial killer in this movie. Like that character needed that energy, that flamboyance, that just, to me, he was like the personification of the hacker like genre, all wrapped up in one. So I haven't talked about my history with this, and I am very similar with Steven. I watched this when I was 16 years old, and talk about a movie that I had no like idea what this was even going to be about, what that lifestyle is. Like Nate, I lived in the country. This was foreign to me. Like I don't even know if I knew the word internet other than maybe hearing it on the news or something like that. It was always, DOS looking style computers that we dealt with. Nothing to the amazingness of this. I liken it to Tron the first time I watched Tron.
Yeah.
Just all this lights and neon and all these other things. So this movie, I was enamored with it. Like I was just totally sucked into this like lifestyle. And had I been in an area where I could have found those group of kids that were into it, I totally would have been in on that. I would have been one of the next hackers. But internet didn't make it to Southwest Virginia till a few years ago. So it's my parents still don't have the internet at their house. So oh yeah, it's unless you get it through like satellite, direct TV or something. But there is no like fiber optic line like I'm on now and my parents only live like 2 miles away from
Look
me.
at him. He's using fancy words like fiber optics.
You guys, I have watched Hackers every year. When this hit Tubi and I had found Tubi myself, I went, oh shit, Hackers is on here. It played an entire day. Like I turned it on, I was doing stuff in the shop, and when it was about to end, I didn't let it go to another movie. I replayed Hackers. Hackers played for probably 12 to 14 hours in my shop because it's just one of those movies, no matter what point it's on, I know exactly where I'm at in the movie. I can sit there and I can watch it. And I talk about comfort movies a lot. This is one of those non-action comfort movies for me.
Non-action? Did you say non-action?
It's
guns, rollerblading, hacking.
Got him.
You had to hack the show in order for us to do this.
I could almost argue that this is more action than Cutie Bun Buns.
No,
or
it is
I was going to
absolutely not.
say this is not the first non-action movie on the show.
You have
it's
a
like
weird
the third.
definition.
But this one fits
of
more
action
into like our umbrella. Like there's just something about its suaveness.
And like you guys were saying, this is like what I've talked about, like a snapshot of a time period. Now, this is a snapshot of the 90s, but again, this was so foreign to me with that whole city life.
Right.
But I also liken this to a movie we covered last year, which was Brain Scan, which was quite literally the video game end of, And again, something that I didn't have like computer games. I had a Nintendo. I had a Nintendo till I got a job and bought a PlayStation. I didn't have any of the in-between systems, so it was just one of those things that, my parents did what they could. I can't complain about it, but I was not one of these kids that like, oh, your mommy bought you a computer. Is that why you want to be here and be a hacker? It was none of that. I have no idea what any of this means. It was a new terminology, different lifestyle. This was fantasy till I realized that it wasn't. It's totally wild. And it's nostalgia for watching it, but not nostalgia as far as a lifestyle I remember. If that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm curious, Nate and Charlie, since you guys saw it, earlier in your lives. For me, this was also one of the first movies that was a discovery film. That was like, it wasn't a big movie with like name actors. It wasn't like seeing something that had been out for 10 years. It was the first time I saw a movie that was not a horror movie, that was at the bottom of the shelf, that like had no actors that I knew. I didn't even know if it had come out in the theater. And it was when I started to discover like independent movies and smaller movies and different things like that.
That's what I loved about like this era of like trying to find these movies, because those movies, they're at the bottom of the shelf, and they had like the sun stain on the cover where it was all faded,
Faded and all, yeah.
I remember a buddy and I, we had to like track this down at a flea market. That's how we found it.
Oh, wow.
It was like when we were trying to find this, we had just recently saw Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, because that was like 2001 or something like that. So we were trying to find Mallrats, because we're like, oh, these guys are in other movies. Like, it's just like stuff like that of what else is this? And yeah, the aesthetic to this movie is one of those like, like my parents would have had no idea what Hackers was. So this would have never gotten rented on the, limited budget that we did have before I got 1 million gift cards one year, to be able to explore films. So like, that would have been like, what did dad or mom want to rent? And then maybe I get to grab something from the dollar, 2 for $1 or whatever it was.
I
Yeah,
rented.
Mallrats
ahead.
is a great comparison.
Oh,
Yeah.
it totally is. It's
Yeah.
right in that vein of teenage angst. You know, this 18 going on adulthood kind of mentality, which a lot of it is.
It's the same group of kids with a different
And I
focus,
think
with a
that's the
different
big
interest
thing.
set.
Like,
Right. Instead of
like-
weed, it's
Right,
internet.
It's
Yeah.
Right. For
it's
me,
their drug of
I
choice is
never-
computers. Yeah.
I never felt like I fit in and like just being like an oddball. You had like movies that were Varsity Blues, American Pie.
Oh, jeez.
They were the stuff that focused on like the popular kids getting into sexcapades. And it's like that wasn't me.
Right.
So like
Exactly.
a
yeah.
movie like
That was
Mallrats
Pete.
was
That was
me.
Pete.
Exactly. That was
That was Pete.
I was the
Or
nerd
Based on all the
always
poontang,
losing.
apparently.
Yeah.
Brass Paradox. Brass
Brass
Paradox.
Paradox.
Oh, sorry.
Brass Paradox. The lady charm as he played them sweet, sweet trumpet lullabies.
I have to. I don't know. It's weird to me that you're bringing up Varsity Blues, and I'm thinking Porky's. Like it's a different time era.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, and
Well,
like for me, like something like Hackers is like, oh, these guys are cool because they're different, and like a movie like Mallrats, like these guys go to the mall. That's what I did,
Yeah. Oh,
When I was
think
allowed to get a ride because I didn't have a driver's license, so I wasn't even allowed to chase poontang like Brass Paradox.
I think your point is great because there is something about this movie that if you were like a loser growing up and then you saw all these, sort of like oddball characters, you were like, oh, that's the group of friends that I want. That's the group of people that I want to be with. It reminds me of how like a lot of times horror fans will kind of they'll kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? They'll valorize or like fetishize the world of like the freak show because
Yeah.
we always we always want to be a part of that. We always that's our people. That's what we want to be a part of. And Hackers in a way is kind of like that for nerds and science fiction people.
Oh,
and,
I always love whenever like the horror movies show like the goth dance club, and I'm like, that's nothing like that. There's
right.
there's 13 of us, and like, yeah, I enjoy the music, but like, it's not this crazy empty warehouse. Yeah.
Oh, like what is it? The barn dance and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah. Like that doesn't exist.
No.
I've
Nowhere.
never been to a party like that in my life.
Never even heard of one. I liken this like when I was watching this and it was me and my buddy Ben, even though we didn't have the connection to like the hacker side of it, I liken it to though when we discovered heavy metal. And that was our personality for the long, we wore the heavy metal shirts. We were the ones that the school, Nate and I've talked about this before, were the people in the school were the Satanists all of a sudden, just because we listened to heavy metal, and it's, so I liken it to that. Like there's this subculture that is created. Like they show the school. It's not like it's an entire school of hackers.
No.
There's normals that are there, but then you can always spot the ones that are really trying to stand out. Like when Freak goes off on Joey, like you gotta quit letting your mom dress you and all this other stuff.
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World, which should have been his hacker name.
It's a funny
It would have been great.
The movie's funny.
Like if you look at the credits, he never gets one. Like he's totally. Also, fun fact: Freak never gets out of prison. So I'm not 100% sure what happens because Freak's not in the movie anymore at the end of this.
That was one of my favorite scenes in the film where when he's getting arrested, he asks the cops to speed up his arrest because his mom is kicking the shit out of him.
It was worse for him to get
you
beat
just
up by his
arrest me
mom.
already?
I love
Hurry
that.
up,
Yeah.
arrest me.
I had a note at the end to bring that up that he's after all of this still rotting away in jail and nobody gives a shit.
He's
all
the
right.
martyr. He's the one that's got to take the fall for them all. Now, I got a question. Was Freak the guy that dances on the plane in Con Air?
Sally can't dance, man. That is
Knew
totally
it.
Sally can't
I
dance.
really-
on there. Yep. Nope,
And that's
totally.
an action movie, just so everyone
That
knows.
is an action
For
movie.
sure, yeah. No
Just
question.
like Hackers is. They're the same.
Yes.
But yeah, so I was able to connect to it without actually. I remember our computer, and I would sit there and play on Paint. That was you
Sure.
you had
That's what we did.
pinball was loaded up on the computers. and
Oh, you
played.
had pinball?
I had
Yeah.
pinball.
It came
I had
out
Dragon's Lair.
I had
95.
solitaire.
I had solitaire too, but I that is my connection to a computer. You know, it's set in our living room, like just off from the television. So it was one of those weird things. Like my parents thought we were going to need it when I was still in high school. Like they even still kind of thought we were going to need it when my sister was in high school. And we totally missed that. Now my kids come home with laptops. School gives them laptops to do all their work. I'm like, where's the books? We don't use books, Dad. What's wrong with you?
Hard copies?
Yeah, hard copy. Exactly.
They smell.
You know, and I let Anthony watch this last night with us because I was like, you know what? I don't think he's ever actually watched this movie. And just the expressions on his face when things were happening, it's just like this discovery, yet wow, these people are old. I do this on a Tuesday, you know, kind of mentality. It's so weird, you know, because they're just talking about these things, and they're talking about like the technical side of the computers, you know, and even I'm like, oh, it's faster than a Pentium. What Pentium are we on right now?
Like,
I
don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny at times, but so Pete's our resident IT guy because he has the computer background. So you've made this comment to me, and then you made it a little bit ago where you're like, so much of this was right, but so much of this was bullshit. What did you find was the least believable?
Well, all of those interfaces were bullshit. As they
You mean to tell me when you're hacking, you don't go into a 3D world?
Correct. Yeah, that does not happen. It's all ones and twos and backdoors and all sorts of things. One of the things that was plainly obvious, it happens today, is the social side of hacking. As our protagonist was calling into the security guard and asking him for his modem's number. There aren't any modems anymore, really. But anyway, as he's calling in and socially hacking that's 50% of hacking even today.
Right.
It's not backdoor. It's not, tippy tappy. Oh, I got in through the back door. No. It's following somebody into the building. It's
literally just taking advantage of a boomer.
When people get hacked on Facebook, they probably clicked on something they shouldn't have clicked on. It's not that somebody got into their account.
Yeah. But
I've been hacked.
Paradox.
No, you haven't. You clicked on something you shouldn't have.
No.
Get off
Brass
of Pornhub.
Paradox. That prince out in Norway, he needed my social security number.
Exactly.
I want to know what color unicorn I am. Damn it.
Yeah.
There's that scene where one of them is walking through that business office and just looking over everyone's shoulder as they're typing shit in. That's how that shit's done.
Exactly. Lord Nikon.
Nikon, he's great.
I love that. It's literally taking advantage of people who aren't paying enough attention to keep their security strong.
I did have a question though, because I know nothing about computers. So, like, what business are they just literally typing their passwords over and over and over again?
Anytime
if you're logging in,
they have to log back in.
Yeah,
I guess. Okay, but he's walking through and there's like 50 people. He must be like memorizing emails and like.
It's hard
to memorize all the keystrokes, special characters.
Right.
Well, you got to look at it like this. What they set this up great. So I have some backstory for you guys in a second, but because Nate's talking about passwords and all these different things, they literally talk about the most popular passwords, which are 3-letter words. You know, sex, God. I think love was one of them, which is 4-letter.
Secret's one too. Yeah,
secret is one. So it's not like we were going. You have to use a capital letter, and then you have to use a period or
security
a
was not that complicated.
It was. There's no such thing as 2-factor authentication or anything like that. So the backstory to this is because I got the special features on the Shout Factory. So this morning I watched them. They actually got in touch with the hacker group. They were out of New York, and I want to think they're called the 2600. They actually have a magazine. It's a hacker magazine.
Yeah.
Cool. They dove into this to be as authentic as they possibly could. Of course, a lot of stuff's movie-ized, basically, you know, because you got to make it entertaining. Ones and zeros on screen. Well, come to find out, that comes pretty popular with the Matrix. But
it's actually really sweet.
Exactly.
Make it green. That's all.
All green with awesome techno music behind it. But they're like everything you see on there, like they said when they were diving into the dumpsters, that's how they would get some passwords. Like people would literally type out what your password is. Here is a memo with your password. Throw this away.
And they
So
weren't
would
necessarily required to change it immediately.
Exactly. So there was dumpster diving. There was, like you said, calling in to get the modem numbers, walking around. I love that, Nikon could easily be overlooked in this movie, but I feel like he's such an integral thought process with this. It's like, we need someone that just knows this stuff. How do we explain it? He's got a photographic memory, so he can just see everything that's going on. And I love that photographic memory. He's Lord Nikon, and he's always working on his camera. He's carrying that thing around. I love how they personified their alter egos in life.
Well, you bring up something that I think is a strength of the movie. I haven't watched this in probably 4 or 5 years, but when I was watching it, I was having a good time, but I was also noticing that the script is rather clever if you can get past the fact that it just that some of the stuff is made up. Some of the hacking stuff is made up. But like there's just a little detail that Matthew Lillard is carrying around a toothbrush. He's always carrying around a toothbrush. And he's always asking people if he can crash at their place, which is why he always has a toothbrush.
He's always moving. He's
always moving. And they make a joke about how his parents, were at Woodstock or yada, yada, yada. They make a little joke about it.
Yeah.
This script is quite clever in its own way.
Well, it sounds like they're pretty thorough, too, by going to the 2600 or what have you and figuring out how do we do this in a way that's, at least in that time era, realistic.
Right. And I mean, they interviewed the guys from 2600, and they were talking about, like, these weren't just people stopping by asking us, like, oh, is this like real or bullshit? They were like, they would come back. They would, revisit us and go, okay, what about this? They were literally like consultants on this movie, which is why, while to most people, and this is another reason why this movie technically failed, this movie didn't do well in theaters and it bombed, was because they were so authentic. People like Nate and myself and everything were like, I have no idea what this is about. I have no concept of this lifestyle. This has to be all made up. This has to all be bullshit. And 20 years later, people are now refinding this movie and going, oh, this was it. This was exactly how this started with the hacker lifestyle, and yes, things have gotten better and faster and, different ways of doing it. But at its core, it's always still that, we got to find this little piece of information to get in. Got it, like Pete said, get someone to click on a link that we can then just, grab. It's funny. All this we're doing, we plan this. And I don't know if you guys follow it, but I follow a channel on YouTube called LTT, which is Linus Tech Tips. Their YouTube channel got hacked. They have like 4 or 5 million followers on YouTube. They got hacked the other day, and it was all because someone in their sales department had a backdoor opening to their channel network, and they clicked on a link from a potential sponsor.
Oh no.
That they usually get. That's what your job is. And because they didn't know all, they're not a techie, they're a salesperson. They click on this link, and all it did was that link grabbed everything that was on their cookie files. Period. Just everything they've logged into within like 24 hours, 30 seconds. Access to their channel was open, and they started this whole scam phishing thing on their channel. They got it fixed. They got it back. What I thought it was so. It just kind of worked for us to be able to talk about this, of how easily, even now, boom, your computer, your stuff's taken. Go ahead.
Previous conversation, just for a second, with my experience is similar to a couple of you in all in one. Like, I grew up with gaming before anything else. That got me interested in tech, and then I became the tech nerd after that. And I'm by no means like professional hacker, what have you, but I was working for a certain fruit-based company for a little while, and I was at the retail store teaching people how to use the computer when the guy taught me how to do that. And he would say, okay, explain what's going on so people can follow you. And I'd say something, I remember this. I said, just, you got to drag your mouse across the desktop. And he literally picked up the mouse and drug it across the screen.
Yep.
And I went, okay, you're fucking with me. He goes, no, I'm not. You have to be very specific. And thank you. You have to be very specific with what's going on and how you tell people things. fast forward a little bit, I'm teaching somebody, I say something very similar, and they literally do that. They literally drag the mouse across the
Oh
screen.
God.
And I had to go and tell him, I'm sorry I doubted you. I absolutely. But it's a lesson I learned in how simple humans are when they don't understand something, because nobody wants to feel foolish. Nobody wants to feel stupid. So they're going to just go along with things because they don't want that perception of I don't know what I'm doing. And also the people who can take advantage of that are the ones who understand. Or in the case of a scammer like the Prince Nigeria thing, they're going to holler at you and scare you and get you to get on their side and get that illicit emotion in there.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to walk up to somebody who has no idea what's going on. I say, if you look like you belong there and you speak with authority, they'll never question you. Just be like,
Yeah.
I need this information. Boom, they'll hand it to you. Especially if it's a front desk person, if it's somebody who's not technically inclined, absolutely.
You walk in with enough confidence, you can get away with anything. Now, what I
100%.
do think is hysterical, like this movie does kind of feel like a warning to like, well, this is what could happen, you know. And then just this past week, we had our U.S. Congress look like absolute idiots with the TikTok CEO, where they're asking him like, "Can TikTok access my Wi-Fi?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, yeah, if you decide to turn on your Wi-Fi with your phone."
Right.
Yes. And then another person asking, like, if you're in airplane mode with TikTok, does that mean you could take over the airplane? And it's just like, no. Like, and
Yeah.
it's just like you're seeing these like representatives from Alabama and Texas and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, there's a reason why your education levels are at the fucking bottom of everything. Because thank you. Because you're just so completely like off guard. Like you just the knowledge isn't there. And like for me, it's like, nah, this is pretty simple stuff. Like,
And not to
just
be
know
ageist,
better.
but there's something about the generation gap as well.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
people over 50, to be generous, who are just not willing to learn the new stuff, who are just set in the
Careful.
nightmare they're in. And they don't want to, I don't know. It's just my experience working with them. Like the younger people, 20, 30, even into the 40s a little bit, they're more willing to go, okay, I get it. Let me figure it out. And the older
Yeah.
generation are like, I'm too old for this. I can't. Just give me
Well,
something.
it's like they instantly just tap out and like refuse
Yeah.
to learn like anything new with the modern world. That's why we get people upset at pronouns. Where it's like, this is not something to get upset about. Like, it's just move
Right.
on.
And then same thing with these people asking about, Twitter or whatever. It's how old are they when they're asking these questions that to the rest of the world seem pretty ignorant, but to them they
Yeah.
genuinely don't know and they're genuinely afraid of this.
It's funny because it's making me think about like connecting it back to the movie. So one of the things that's funny about this film is that other than one or two characters, pretty much follows people in their 20s.
Yeah.
And anytime an adult who's older than that is sort of introduced to this world of hacking, like the head of the FBI, or for those of you who have not, in the audience who haven't seen this movie, Penn Jillette plays a security
I was
guard.
going to talk about him.
And
right, yes.
And he like has no idea what, he's cybersecurity, it seems like, but he seems to have no knowledge of cybersecurity at all.
But he's like the right-hand man right there,
right,
though.
Yeah.
Right. And
Well,
so there's all these like ignorant adults other than two characters, the mom who's just, she's kind of a different story.
That's totally different. She's a
Totally
single
different.
mom just trying to
Right.
survive.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's the villain who I'm sure we'll get to later.
Oh, we have to. I
Yeah.
do like you brought up the Gill, the federal agent, and talk on that same thing. We literally almost get introduced to him by Mark Anthony, which I'm always so like.
It's right.
It's so
I've
weird
seen
when you
things, I
see
was
Mark Anthony in movies in the
Mark
90s.
Anthony.
Yeah, but when he goes, oh, we got here in time, the hard drive isn't corrupted. And even me going, I know what that means, but they make Gil go, none of that technical bullshit. Tell me exactly.
I was
Oh,
serving and protecting
yeah.
the president for 10 years.
Right.
I don't know anything about no computer.
Yeah.
And then Mark Anthony's like, oh, he didn't have a chance to delete anything. Okay, I get you. I'm like, what did you not understand about corrupt? Like,
Yeah.
really, you could have put two and two together.
I feel like
seriously.
some of the adults in this movie exist as like audience surrogates for like
Right.
people who
Yes.
maybe didn't know exactly how computers worked. So they ask these stupid questions. They're like, "What's a virus?"
Yeah.
Well, the head of the corporation, the woman,
Lorraine Bracco, yeah.
Lorraine Bracco is just like the most airheaded corporate person I've ever seen in a movie.
So here, I'm going to say one negative thing about this movie.
Okay.
Lorraine Bracco's horrible in it.
Oh, she is.
She's horrible. She's
What
real
is-
bad.
What is a rabbit? What is all this? Oh, what's going on?
Eugene, you created a virus that will start an ecological disaster.
Disaster. Oh God. Oh.
And it
Save
sounds
her
like
life.
she's doing ADR. Like it doesn't. It
does,
didn't even
yeah.
seem like her voice
I
matched.
feel like they did.
Yeah.
That's sad too, because maybe when she originally recorded it, she sounded fine, and
Maybe.
someone went, "No, you got to go a little more."
No, they want a little bit more Goodfellas out of you. Come on, I know you
Exactly.
got it in you.
But it does segue into something I feel very strongly about, and I think Charlie agrees with me on this. Fisher Stevens is awesome in this
I
movie.
love Fisher Stevens.
Yeah.
He's so
Oh my
good in this
God.
movie.
He's such a slime bag. I
Yes,
adore that guy. Yeah.
he is good. But if there was ever a villain that I feel like I could give a wedgie and punch in the gut,
Yep.
it is him.
That's the point.
But that's the point.
That's the point,
He
yeah.
is only intimidating on the cyber level. He's also like definitely the elder of the hackers, in this movie. He's not their age, he's older, but he's also was probably one of the first to begin into this.
For me, a good villain is connected to the hero. So it's like if you're a Punisher fan, like Jigsaw's a great villain, but he's not a great villain against the X-Men. Like it's not
Exactly. Yeah.
It's, yeah. Like
He's only works with Punisher.
Spank
That's it.
that ass, Les. Spank that ass. That's all it would be.
Exactly. And for this story, they hit so many great villain beats that I really enjoy with him. I think his performance is great.
Oh,
I love that they bring that classic villain trope in of like, hey, you're the hero and I'm the villain, but I actually understand you.
We're the same.
We're the
We're two
same.
sides of the same coin.
Everything you represent, I represent the opposite. But come over to my side.
Look
Work
at what
with
the
me.
riches that you can get. That zero cool, what you
Yeah.
did as a kid.
And I love that that's 90% of their interaction in this is over the internet. The only
And it
time I
works
think they
because
actually
Dade kind of even falls into it of like, well, I gave him the disc
gave
because
up-
I trusted him. Like I
Well,
didn't know what was on
he
it.
trusted that they would mess with his mom.
Right.
Because it was, we're going to put your mom in prison for all this stuff, and there's nothing you can do. And as a kid of, that cyber universe, he understood that, if it says it on the computer, might as well be carved in stone.
Right.
That's legit. Leo, what were you going to say, brother?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I approached this guy kind of in the middle of all this, in that I appreciate him being the tougher behind the screen than he was in persona.
Yes.
Which is accurate even today. Most people who are out there causing the better amounts of cyberbullying and trolling are nothing when you meet them in life versus who they pretend to be online.
He's like the first keyboard warrior.
Oh, sure.
Right, yeah. And I think the age was important because he's in that in-between spot of what we were talking about before. Not quite the young hackers, but not quite the old idiots that don't understand. He's right
to what we would
connective tissue.
equate to like what we call elder millennials now. Like Nate.
Sure, exactly.
And he's super cocky about it because he knows he's older, so he's kind of got that upper advantage. Like, well, I've been doing this longer.
Right.
The experience.
Well, and it also kind of ties into the themes of the movie that like, because Dade's whole story is like protecting his friends and like being connected in this world and how, hacking is going to unite the world and, bring all the people of all the different, different types of people together. But the Plague, who's, Fisher Stevens plays the villain, he's saying that they're samurai, that they are Ronin, that they are masterless warriors that only form. I love his line where he says, like, with temporary alliances. And allegiances. I love that line that he has.
And we were talking a little bit earlier, to go back just a second, where you were saying this was on the movie rental rack, and it's like there was nothing there that connected you. I was connected though to Fisher Stevens because at the time I watched this, I was a huge fan of Short Circuit, and we all know the issue with that with Fisher Stevens.
What
in
are you
that,
talking about?
What
but
could possibly?
I don't blame Fisher Stevens for what happens because of Short Circuit. As an actor, though, I absolutely love this guy. So he was one of those like, oh, I know that guy at least. You know, at least there was some connection to renting this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, I rented this when it was a new release. So this was like on the new release rack, just come out. My place probably got maybe 3 copies because it was not a heavy hitter in the theater. You know, there was, I think, this is 95. So there was probably 10 copies of Mortal Kombat, 3 copies of Hackers. They both came out the same
that's
year.
fair.
Yeah. And you know, I saw Mortal Kombat in theater. I rented Hackers, so that tells you a lot of know what I was drawn to was definitely the video game end of things. I understood that more than hacking. But if I could go back, I would have loved to have seen this movie in theaters.
Oh, me too. I think this movie would still look great in theaters.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to go to a reshowing of this. It would be amazing.
Can we talk about the plague? The fact that this villain skateboards everywhere.
I love it.
And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Like
he's being drugged by the car. You know, it's
when he showed up and he drove. You know, he's being dragged by the car on this skateboard, grabs the floppy disk, and then goes back to the car. I'm like, you could have just rode passenger. You could have just rode shotgun.
I started laughing because I thought if this were, if this were Spoils of Horror, I would say to Leo, like, because there's a phone booth right there, right next to it. And I was like, man, Fisher Stevens has better kill this part because if he had face planted into that phone booth.
I was similar to that last night. I wonder how many takes this took. Like, damn it, I missed. Back the car up, boys. Here we go.
Yeah, he just loses his grip on the side of the car and just sails off one of the.
Just goes off into that massive fog machine they have going out of the sewer.
Yeah, never to be seen again. He's still going to this day.
You hit one little stone, and that's going to launch you across the street.
Yeah, you're gone. But the aesthetic of him too. I mean, we're gonna dig on him a little bit. I love the little fur coat, like tailcoat looking thing. It wasn't like a full on. Who was it that wore it during football?
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, like fur coat. This was like tailored fit. That was his aesthetic. He also had like very Victorian type costuming in this that I just, these kids are going like cyberpunk, which I found out was a term even in the 80s.
It was.
It was
Gibson.
Coined in a book by William
the tech
Gibson.
was starting to develop and become what it is. The punks branched off into that. Yeah.
Right. So you had this punk aesthetic that the teenagers were taking, and I like that kind of set the Plague apart from them a little bit because it made him more proper. It's like regal almost. He is the older of the hackers. I deserve your respect, and he dresses the part. And I do love that aspect of him in this. It just he is an iconic villain, even though he's not quite the villains we're used to in action movies.
Oh, no doubt. Well, and I think also, and maybe Pete, you seem to be well read. Maybe you know this. I think the Gibson. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, Pete.
I don't know. I gave you that impression.
You're a very smart guy, Pete. But the Gibson computer is named after the guy who came up with some of these terms. A guy named an author, William Gibson.
Yeah, that sounds right. There's a lot of that history that. There's a lot of that history
That's
that.
Right.
I think like when they were talking about those books, those are all real books to my knowledge.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, they're all real or were real. I don't know how relevant they are anymore, but they were
probably
not
as much now. But
at the time, they were like the Bibles of tech at that time in the 90s. So yeah, I don't know all of that history. We were very much selling computers at CompUSA. We were just selling all the very big brands and stuff like that. So and I'm just trying to squeak out a living. So I didn't do a lot of
Dude, did you get a Dell?
No, I got a IBM Aptiva. That was my first big computer.
Ooh.
Pentium 133.
I always remember this from back in the day, and I don't know why it's always stuck with me, that there was this one computer that said, "This will never be out of date." Like,
Oh, I
you will
don't know
like
that one.
there would be so like
That feels like Gateway.
I was about to
yeah,
say the same thing. Yeah.
there was some brand that so there was two ways they would go about it. Like when they were selling you a computer and it would have like bigger RAM, they would always sell it up as like you're never going to use all the RAM in this computer, which is totally bullshit now. But then I remember there was this other computer that said this we will upgrade this computer for life. I think that company went out of business like after like
Pretty
3
quick, I
years.
bet.
Yeah, it was like but it was covered in stickers. You know, they remember when computers were every little thing to tout about was a sticker on the damn like tower
Oh,
or
my
anything
laptop
like
still got stickers on it.
I put stickers on mine, but mine only had something about the sound. My laptop has like Bang Olufsen, which is a high
That's
end
a fancy.
I remember
yeah.
that. Before
Yeah.
Bose and everything else. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So right now
Yeah.
it has Al Leong and Mega Delta Force stickers on it. So,
Oh, so Allion is actually the processor for your laptop.
yeah, mine is a Pentium Al Leong.
That's a kick-ass processor, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally.
Any moment it's gonna die though. Any moment.
That's my antivirus. It's my Al Leong
There you
antivirus.
go. A little
It is-
aloe on it. You're good.
That is something I wanted to bring up. That at the beginning of this movie, our protagonist gets arrested when he was 11, right?
8.
For
Something like that.
8,
yeah.
something like that, and he is away from computers for 7 years, not allowed to touch a touch-tone phone or a computer in any way, shape, or
That
form
might have been 11.
for
Yeah, I think you're right.
7 years.
Yeah.
On the day of his birthday, he hacks into a television station so he can watch The Outer Limits. Now,
Good
first
choice.
of all,
Very.
First of all, good choice. Second
Very
of
good
all,
choice. Yes.
if you're going to jump off of the not computer wagon back into the hacking world, don't you have a Blockbuster up the street where you can just rent The Outer Limits from?
Well,
That sounds
point.
very petty to hack a television station just because you want to
But
watch
he
something
didn't
else.
hack any television, you know.
it's about the politics.
Okay,
Yes.
fair enough.
It was
Fair-
a Rush Limbaugh-esque
That-
TV
yes,
show that
I-
he took down.
Yeah,
But
It's
that's
also
it.
entirely possible he was grounded and he couldn't get out to the Blockbuster. So
You know, that is also fair.
Grounded
And
on
then-
your 18th birthday is
and
rough.
finally, you're a hacker 7 years without having physical contact with something. As a former bartender, if I would go a couple of months not bartending for whatever reason, I would forget a lot of the fancy drinks. And 7 years removed from using computers, not only has the technology changed drastically in those 7 years, but you're going to forget all that stuff if you're not practicing it every day. So that was one of the more unbelievable things about
was
this
reading.
film.
He was allowed to touch
There's
books.
only so much you can read, dude, without doing. I mean, I can read about
That's right.
having sex all day long. If I don't do it, it gets real sad real quick. If it already isn't sad.
That's not what college going Pete said.
Yeah,
so-
it's not at all.
Right.
Colin.
Again,
when he was walking past hackers to get to all the chicks.
That's right.
but there
His
isn't
nose pointing to the sky.
again. There is a difference between fishing and catching, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to point out too that it's a different world now. People are going to think about 7 years and how right now every single year there's leaps and bounds of
That's
technology.
insane.
Back then,
Like,
Monthly,
it could
weekly
take-
at times.
Yeah, exactly. It could take 6 months or a year before the next big thing came out or the next big change happened back in the 90s because
Can
it was
I-
still new and they're still figuring shit out.
I always interpreted it that Dade, the main character, was still hacking. Just
That was
nobody
me.
knew. Yeah.
But he
I-
just
I-
went
that's
to
what
the
I thought.
library and started
On
dicking
the-
around on the
on the
computer.
low.
It's the
Yeah.
only way that he could have kept his skills up, and
Well,
they
you
really
know-
never. They
Well,
never let us in on that.
Well, it's how his mom reacts. Like, you literally just got him a computer for his 18th birthday. My guess was he had it, but her rule was don't connect to the internet. So she says that. Are you
She
connected
does say that,
to
you're
the
right.
internet? And so my
You hooked it
thought
up to
was
the phone.
you hooked it up to the phone, all this other stuff. So another point to what you were saying to the first part was hacking was never this like I'm a hacker. The mentality of it was, can I do this? It's the Everest mentality. Why did you climb it? It's because it's there. Why did you hack it? Because I wanted to. I want to know what's on the other side of that firewall.
Okay.
I want the access to information that you seem to think I'm not allowed to have. You know, that's the whole mentality of freedom of information. Hell, it's still a thing now. You know, freedom of information. Don't hide shit from me. Why is it so important that I can't know it?
But in your defense, Pete, Dade Murphy types like he hasn't used a computer in 8 years. Because that dude types like I do, like this.
That's
like
how I type.
With
two
fingers.
And I'm really good at it.
I am too. Like
I'm really fast. I'm a fast typer.
Yeah.
I can throw a pinky and my thumb in for the space bar, but it's,
sure, yeah.
Like I can heavy metal type.
That must be difficult to text like that. I don't know.
Now,
Well,
He's got
I'm
a
still
big
used
phone.
to clicking the damn thing 3 times to get to T. You know what I mean? I'm still in that generation of texting.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Since we're on the topic, I want to bring up another little foible of the film. When he was a kid and he got arrested for his hacking and they put him on court trial. And I know that came out wrong. That
you mean where
sentence
they
is
all
totally-
had M16s pointed at that kid?
Right.
Right, exactly.
As opposed to medieval trial.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They charged him something like $45,000.
Yeah.
for his trial, which back then was big time money. Now it's like
Astronomical.
whatever. And then I interpreted that as this was the catalyst that caused the divorce, and his mother had to move and everything else.
Yeah.
And they chose New York, which was the most expensive place to go. How much money is she making that she can piss away $45,000 and still move to New York?
Well, she did.
45,000 in 1988. I just did the math. Is equivalent to $102,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So she does say, this is a huge job opportunity and we can't pass it up. So we have to move. So my guess was
it was 7 years later too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they were destitute in the meantime and just kind of.
I kind of thought that was almost the equivalent to even a slap on the wrist because he was a kid, because it literally says he crashed the market.
He took down Wall Street.
Yeah.
By hacking into a TV station?
No. The first time.
The first time was because that, and actually it's based on something that really did happen.
Oh, interesting.
By a kid that really did that.
I didn't know that.
It was 1988 or something like that when it happened.
Just so everybody knows, Leo loves to do this on our show too, where he pretends he doesn't understand the lore, and then I have to look like a giant loser because I have to explain.
No. Here's how hackers work.
No, Dade Murphy did not hack that at that time. He hacked it at a different time. That was when he was zero cool, not crash override. Blah, 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 blah.
I am a professional instigator, and it's nice to get that reaction out of him.
Here's my problem. When he's a kid and he took down Wall Street because he had access to the internet, this is how you know my path is different than that of a genius. Because for me as a kid, when I had access to the internet, it was, can I look up these WWF divas nude? Like, is that possible? Like, I heard Sable's nude on Playboy. Is that on this internet? And then
I don't
also,
want to buy the magazine. I just want to.
Yeah, Tomb Raider 2 has a cheat code that can make Lara Croft nude. How do I do that? All right, I'm gonna write that one down, not print it off. And then when I go and do the code, she keeps blowing up. What am I doing wrong?
I'd like to point out this is why he doesn't have the women chase scenario like our other friend here. Because
yes, exactly.
This whole time was cyber women.
Yeah, exactly. It still is to this day, apparently.
but in your defense, you were a prodigy in that.
Yes, definitely. I was the one going, "Oh, guys, you're using the internet to look up sports.
You were
Did
one
you
of the,
know that
you were
there
one
are
of the first-
WWF divas who might be nude?"
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because I'm picturing that court scene with like you sitting next to your mom, and then the judge holds up like an old piece of printer paper with Lara Croft nude on it. but it's just all giant blocks where her boobs should be.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm in my little pee-wee tux, for court.
Oh man.
Accessing database.
All right, this is perfect, Pete. Nate is distracting them talking about
Yeah,
Lara Croft and
yeah.
Angelina Jolie's boobs. I mean, so I got to get control back. This is the last time I buy the 99-cent special. You're the computer guy.
Okay,
Get
okay.
my show back.
I'm working on it. Hang on. Wait.
Come on, man. You're the computer guy.
Guys, I've got Halle Berry on my junk right now. She's helping me concentrate, so please.
I don't think that's going to help you concentrate one bit.
I know, it just makes me want to cover swordfish now. Like, what the hell, Pete? Come
It's
on.
a lot of fun. Let me tell you.
I mean, he's already been trying to do it. Now we're going to lose focus. Come on, boys.
Here, wait. Shh. Okay. What did that?
Nate, how's it going? You keeping them distracted?
Yeah. They're totally distracted on the boobs.
working on it.
They think that
Hang on.
Angelina Jolie's boobs are going to show up at any moment on the podcast. Faster, Pete. I can't distract them for much longer. Soon they're going to figure out that Taking Lives is a movie, and they just put that on.
All right, hey, come on, man.
Hold on. Backspace.
Oh God, what's that? You guys. Oh no.
Oh, no. No.
Oh shit! I know what this is. This is the 2-part alarm.
Oh.